Hi everyone, welcome to another one of our LinkedIn live events. And today's topic is going to be on creating irresistible soul led offers. So, before I start, I'll just quickly check if we are live and my internet is working fine. Today's training is not going to be very long. Today's event is not going to be very long. We are going to keep it a little bit short because I've actually heard from some of the people who watch my events that um, Riansh, you do events that are really long. So, okay, I'm trying to see if I am live. Okay, yeah, I am. All right, so let's start. Now, if you are an aspiring coach, you may probably not know what an offer is. And if you're an existing coach, you do know what an offer is. But today we are going to really talk about what an offer really means in a coaching business, right? Because sometimes the understanding of an offer is very different from what it really is, right? So basically, when you are a life coach, you have to understand that you are a service provider, right? You are selling a service. You are going to have sessions with your clients. You are probably going to sell some products, which again will include some kind of service only. So ultimately, you are a service provider. Now, when you're selling a product, let's say you have a grocery store or you're running a clothing store, the offer is very simple, right? Like you tell the person that this is the product and this is what you can buy. For example, if I am, let's say, selling I'm selling computer mouses, right? So I'm just going to say that, you know what, this is the product and you can buy. So my offer is this product, and then I'm going to tell you its features. I'm going to tell you the price of it, right? That is what essentially an offer really means. When you're a service provider, when you're a life coach, you are supposed to construct an offer of your own, because the other person does not know the scope of service that you can provide, because coaching is intangible. It is not something that people can see or touch, but it is only something that can be felt, something that is experienced, right? So an offer basically means when you tell the other person, right, what exactly are they getting when they're doing a transaction with you, right? And you tell them the price, and you tell them, what is the end result that you're going to get. For example, let's say if I'm somebody who helps people with, let's say, self love, so I'm going to have to tell people that, this is my offer. My offer is that you work with me for 12 sessions for next 3 months, and by the end of it, you will walk away as somebody who knows how to deeply love themselves, right? That is an offer. So, why are we talking about an offer today? Because it's not really the hardest thing in the world to create an offer. We are talking about an offer because I see a lot of coaches go about their offers very strangely. First thing that I often see is that a lot of people try to copy other people's offers. Like they look at other coaches who are doing well, they look at other people on internet who are doing well, and they think that if it's working for them, it's going to work for me too. So they end up copying other people's offers. They end up copying their niches. They end up copying the topics that they are writing about and coaching about, right? It does not work out. It does not work out because you have to understand that every single offer carries an energy of its own, right? That is why two people can have a similar offer, a similar price point, a similar marketing strategy, yet they both get two very different results. Because at any point of time, a business is also an energy transaction. So when you are trying to copy somebody, what you're essentially doing is that you have hidden yourself inside a blanket, like, to tell you in more absolute terms rather than abstract terms. You've hidden yourself inside a blanket that you believe is going to, um, help you sell more. But in reality, what you've done is you've made yourself invisible, right? So when you try to copy other people, you basically become invisible to your clients. Like when you are inside a blanket, your clients cannot find you. You think that if I'm wearing that blanket, I'm going to appear more attractive. I'm going to appear, um, you know, somebody who clients can buy from. Maybe I will appear as somebody who is authoritative, whatever. But in reality, what you've done is you've put a blanket over yourself. So you've become invisible to your clients. That is what happens when you try to copy other people. Similarly, another mistake that I see a lot of coaches do is that they come up with offers they themselves do not connect with, right? Like there is no connection whatsoever. Their offers are coming from a place of, ये market में चल रहा है तो हम भी ये कर लेते हैं. Like this is working in the market. For example, these days we have a flood of people who are trauma practitioners. We have a flood of people who are talking about nervous system regulation. We have insane amount of inner child healers. We have a lot of people who are trying to get into trauma work and intergenerational trauma work because they think that it's going to sell. Does everybody make money? Unfortunately, no. In fact, 80 to 90% of the people do not. Why? Because they went into that field thinking that this is going to make me more money. Not that I feel connected with it, not that I deeply believe in it, but this is going to make me money. So they don't essentially connect with their offers. They look from a perspective of that, in Hindi we say कि ये काम कर रहा है तो मैं भी कर लेता हूँ. Sort of this thing that it's working in the market. I look at it, it feels like, oh, this is going to work, so I will also do it. For example, a few years back, we had a whole bunch of manifestation coaches. Simply, some of them started in because they thought this is going to work, right? Similarly, even now we have a lot of coaches in general who believe that if we just become a coach, somehow I'm going to be able to make a lot of money. And of course, those people are not able to scale the businesses over a long term. They quit pretty early on, right? Like the people who tend to go in with these ideas in their business usually tend to last for not more than 2 years, to be honest. I have myself seen a lot of coaches come and go. So the point is that if you do not connect with your offer, you will never be able to scale it. You will never be able to market it, and as a result, clients will not actually come. Or even if they come, they'll be so few and so scarce that again it becomes an unscalable offer. So the whole point of us talking about an offer that is irresistible and soul led is that not only do you know how to market it, but it is also something that comes from within you, right? That is what it means to have an offer that is soul led, which means an offer that comes from you, comes from your body, comes from your lived experience, and irresistible, which means that it is something that you're able to sell and it is something that becomes irresistible to the person you are selling to, right? So now let's break down what we are talking about today, right? We're talking about an irresistible soul led offer. So let's first understand what does an offer mean. As I told you, that offer is nothing but something that you are selling the other person, right? In a service, you have to explain to them what exactly are they going to get in return when they're making a transaction of you with you. And in product, it's a bit more simple because it's something you can see. In a product, you're also able to see the features of it, how it looks, how it feels. So a lot of the things become a bit more simple there, a bit more obvious there. Because see, for example, let's say I'm selling this mouse. Okay, this is a Bluetooth mouse. Now let's say I am the seller and I'm like selling this mouse to you, and you can hold it. Okay, you can hold it, you can feel it in your hands, you can look at its color, you can look at, okay, you know what, it makes a certain click sound. You are able to gauge how this product really is, right? So I necessarily do not have to tell you a lot. But that is not the case with my coaching. If I am telling you about my coaching, you probably will not be able to understand what it is unless and until I describe it to you, right? Unless and until I take the time to make it simple, to make it direct, to make it specific, you will not really understand. So that is why when it comes to an offer, it is something that you have to have the vocabulary for. Like you have to have it. There is no other way around apart from having the words to explain what you actually do. So if you think that I'm just going to write something on LinkedIn bio and it's going to work, it does not. You have to have the vocabulary to explain it, right? So an offer is that. An offer is you having the vocabulary to explain what exactly are you doing in one or two lines. Now, what is a soul led offer? Now, an offer can either come from you or it is coming from somebody else. Now, what do I mean by this? An offer, when it comes from you, it comes from your lived experience. An offer that is soul led is something that comes from within you, that comes from your lived experience, that comes from what you deeply believe in. It is not something that you borrow from outside, copy from outside, or you're not coming from a capitalistic sense that this is going to sell well. You're coming from a place of deep energetic understanding that this is truly something that will make a difference, right? There's a difference between a soul led offer and an offer that is not soul led, right? However, let's say you are able to come up with a soul led offer too. However, if an offer is soul led, does not mean that it will always sell. And this is another issue, right? A lot of times, coaches are able to create offers that they deeply believe in, right? That they deeply connect with, but it still does not sell. It still does not sell because they are not able to explain to other people what exactly are they selling, right? So, for example, let's say I deeply believe that my coaching is going to make a difference in your life. Like I believe in it, right? I know what I believe in it, but I don't have the vocabulary to explain to you. I don't have the words to explain to you. Or if I explain, I lose my train of thought or I use very vague terms. And there is, there's a difference between what my understanding in my head is and what I'm trying to explain to you. So no matter how connected I feel with the offer, you still feel unclear about it. You still feel vague about it. You still feel that I don't know what Riachi is talking about. So that's a communication gap that's happening, wherein I do feel connected with my offer, but you don't feel connected with my offer. You don't feel connected with my offer because the medium, which is my communication, which is my vocabulary, is not present, right? Or if it is present, it is very inconsistent, unclear, and not exactly powerful enough, impactful enough. right? So your communication, of course, has to be strong. And if it isn't, you have to develop it. It's a skill set as a coach, because otherwise you will not be able to sell, because you are doing a service, right? You are giving a service. And if the other person does not understand the service, they are obviously not going to buy, right? It's not like a product that you can be silent and somebody feels it and looks at it and then they decide that, okay, I'm going to buy it. So, and a soul-led offer becomes an irresistible offer when you actually have the vocabulary. Now, when I say vocabulary, what do I mean? I want to say it in simple terms. It basically means marketing. How impactfully, right? How clearly, how specifically are you able to market your soul-led offer to the audience, to your audience, to your clients, to the people who will eventually work with you? So that is what makes a soul-led offer irresistible. I don't know what's wrong with the focus of this camera. Okay, it's fine now. So I hope until now you have understood what is an offer and what is a soul-led offer. And a soul-led offer is an offer that comes from within you, and a soul-led offer becomes irresistible when you know how to actually market it well. Now let's understand how can you actually create a soul-led offer and how can you make that soul-led offer an irresistible offer, right? So just a few parameters to keep in mind. Okay. Why is it showing connection lost? Okay, I think we're fine now. Uh, I don't know what is it with me and internet. Half of the times it deceives me. Let me check. Why is it showing? Somebody has said no voice? Is there still no voice? Can somebody tell me if there's still no voice? But I can hear it well. Okay, it should be fine now because I have fixed my internet and there should be voice. There is no reason why there would be no voice. Um, okay. If you are watching this live and you still see that there is no voice, please tell me because I have checked from my end and it feels like there is voice. So I'm going to just go ahead. All right. Now, let's talk about how can we actually create a soul-led offer, right? So when you're creating a soul-led offer, you have to understand that it is something that needs to come from within you, right? It is something that you feel deeply connected with, and you take that energy, you put it out there, and that is how your clients are also able to connect with you. Because when we are selling something intangible, people need to really feel connected with it before they buy it. Because again, it's not a product, it's a service, right? And people can only feel connection with something when the person who is on the other end of the screen also feels connected with what they're selling, right? This suddenly reminds me of there's this particular creator that popped up in my head. That particular person is a business coach and they've scammed a lot of people, and I know it because I have had a few people who have told me that they've taken up their course and it has not worked out for them. Yet from what I understand, they still continue to sell a lot, right? And unfortunately, something that I've realized in the world of business is that even if you are a con artist, even if you are deceitful, even if you're somebody who does not have any integrity, if you really believe that what you are doing is right, like if you're able to justify it to yourself, you'll be able to bring that conviction, you know, in the way you communicate, in the way you market. And other people will lean on to that conviction, other people will lean on to that belief that you have, even though it may be fake, right? It came to me because I think what I wanted to tell you all, whoever is watching, is that I know a lot of people who do a lot of really shady stuff in the coaching world. You know, I know a lot of business coaches who have never run a business in their life, or they con people, you know, with the whole MLM thing, buy 99 rupees course and a 500 rupees course and whatnot. And they only talk about a few students who have gotten results in their, you know, programs, and they glorify it, and they come from a lot of fake reviews, fake testimonials, and whatnot. What I'm trying to tell you is that if they can convince themselves, you know, to be deceitful and still sell, you are somebody who actually wants to make a difference in someone's life. You are somebody who actually wants to work with integrity. You are somebody who actually wants to make an impact, right? So if somebody can convince themselves, you know, that them being deceitful is right, then I think the least we can do as coaches who have integrity, who actually want to do the real work to help people, I think the least we can do is believe in ourselves and believe in the results we create, right? And believing in yourself is a very separate skill from how good you are at what you do, right? And that's a very important thing we need to understand. Even if you're excellent at what you do, if you don't have the skill of believing in yourself, you will not be able to sell. And even if you're pretty average, below average, or maybe you don't know anything at all, but yet you have the skill of believing in yourself, even if it's coming from a very deceitful place, you still might be able to sell, because money making is very, very different from how good you are at your core skill set. So, what I'm trying to tell you is that if you are a coach who genuinely wants to make a difference in other people's lives, and you genuinely want to run a good practice, invest in building your self confidence, invest in building the skill of believing in yourself, because there is no, absolutely there's no replacement to that. Like if you are not able to believe in yourself, you will not be able to sell. And if you're able to believe in yourself, you will be able to sell anything, right? So anyway, that just came to me, so I felt like sharing it. How to create a soul led offer. Now, the first thing and the first question to ponder over when you're creating a soul led offer is, um, you think of a result that you really deeply believe in is going to really make a change in other people's lives. Not what other people are doing, not what is running hot in the market, not what you think is going to sell well, but a result that you truly deeply believe will make a difference in other people's lives, right? That's the first question to ask yourself. The second way to create a soul led offer is to think of a result that you have experienced in your life, and it has made a profound shift in your life, and you would love to bring that in other people's lives too, right? For example, when I started my business, one of the things that I saw that is the inner work that I did on myself, right? The work of believing in myself, the work of practicing courage, the work of going after what I want. It made a huge dent in my life. It made a huge change in my life. So whenever I used to sell coaching from a place of, like when I used to sell coaching and mindset coaching only, and when I used to tell people that I will help you develop confidence, I truly believed in it, because not only have I worked on it, it is something that I have experienced it. So I deeply believed in, you know, what I was selling. Similarly, when I became a trauma informed coach, I did not become a trauma informed coach because I thought it would sell well. I became it because I genuinely saw results in my life because of it, right? And because I saw results, I felt very deeply connected with that modality. Unfortunately, these days, a lot of people learn trauma work, a lot of people learn other modalities, not because they believe in it, because they think that it sounds mysterious, it sounds attractive, it is something that will sell well, right? And that does not work. So, think about what is an impact that you have experienced, what is a result that you have experienced in your life, and it is something that you would like to bring in other people's lives. That is another way of creating a soul led offer, an offer that is coming from place of authenticity. The third way to create a soul led offer is a result that you know will make a big difference in people's lives, and you would like to be the person who delivers it. For example, a while back, one of students in Central CTM told me that they would love to help people with their careers, because they deeply believe that somebody who feels stuck in their career, can really lose their track of time, can really lose, precious time in their life, and it is because they have also been in that place, and they, the way they were speaking, it came from a lot of authenticity, right? And an authentic energy. So it was a soul led offer for them. Similarly, in our last call, one of my LCTM students told me, by the way, if you don't know what LCTM is my life coach training and monetization program, wherein you, as an aspiring coach, you get the training to become a coach, you become certified, and you also learn how to monetize your business. And for existing coaches, you learn how to monetize your business and scale it. So it is for both existing and aspiring coaches. So again, one of my LCTM students in our last call told me that like she was basically telling me the kind of offer that she wants to create, because she is somebody who also saw a lot of difference with that particular offer that she wanted to bring out to other people in her life, right? And when I spoke to her about it, it became more and more clear, like the results that she wanted to create in other people's lives, right? It was coming from her own experience also. So she had to look at no one, she had to look at no one's life, that I have to borrow this, I have to borrow that, I have to research on internet. She knew, right? And that is why one of the best places to create an offer from is to look at your life as to what has created a big difference in your life. Like, was it developing your confidence? Was it drawing boundaries? Was it overcoming people pleasing? Was it overcoming your body image issues? What is overcoming loneliness? Was it overcoming career stuckness? Was it your relationship with money? What was that one single thing in your life that when you um, like went through it, when you overcame it, you saw a big shift in your life, right? And this also tells me that if you are somebody who is an aspiring coach or an existing coach, wherever you are, your inner work is also deeply important, because when you don't do your inner work, you feel very stuck. You are not able to move forward in your life. So it becomes very difficult for you to look at how can I help other people in their life, right? And to address this problem also, LCTM is lifetime, and every single Friday we meet for a group coaching call where my students discuss everything that's going on in their life, personally and professionally. So they never feel stuck. They're always doing their inner work with me, and they will do it for the rest of their life, right? And LCTM therefore was specifically made for coaches who want to build a practice, right? Not for people who just want a certification, not for people who just want to do coaching as a hobby, but for people who genuinely want to build a paying practice, right? And that is why I made LCTM lifetime. So if you're somebody who is an aspiring coach or an existing coach looking to monetize their business, right, and looking to develop their coaching skill set, you're very welcome to join us. You can DM me LCTM to book an inquiry call with me. Now, let's talk about how can we make your soul-led offer irresistible, right? So let's say you were able to recognize what is the difference that you would like to make in other people's life, either through the experience that you have had, or through the difference you would like to see in other people's life, or the difference that you really believe in, right? Like there is something you really believe in. For example, I had a coach friend who really believed that if like breath work and meditation is a part of people's lives, it is genuinely going to help them change a lot of things in their life, and he really believed in it. So he was able to talk about it, and he was able to talk about it in a way that really landed with other people. So a soul-led offer is something that comes from you, comes from your own thinking, your own feelings, your own body. You don't go looking for it in chat gpt, online, what other people are doing, none of that. You look at the result that you really want to create for other people, right? Now, how do you make that soul-led offer irresistible? You need to have the vocabulary to communicate it. So this is where you focus on what is my target audience, like who is my ideal client, who am I selling this offer to, right? Second, what are the 3 to 5 biggest problems that my ideal client is struggling with, right? And third is, in how many ways can I help them solve their problem through my content, right? And this is where marketing comes into the picture. This is where client creation and content creation comes into the picture. All of which I teach inside LCTM in detail in a step-by-step manner, which is a part of our monetization modules, right? And I will also be teaching some of it in my upcoming live training called uh, oh wait, I think I'm stuck again. Okay, yeah, I think I'm back. Yeah, sorry. As I was saying, that I will also be teaching a part of content creation, a part of marketing, a part of client creation in my upcoming free live training, which is happening next month from 24th to 26th of April, called Becoming a Coach Who Attracts Clients. We are basically going to understand offer creation, niche creation. We're going to understand how to set up your marketing, how to basically monetize your business, right? Not to just have a certificate and sit on LinkedIn and write on your LinkedIn bio, I'm a coach, but actually knowing how to create systems that helps you bring in clients, right? And it is a free training. If you would like to attend it, you can find the link to it in the feature section of my profile, or you can also DM me LC and I would send you the link. Now, when it comes to creating an offer that is irresistible, right? You also have to take into account that you are not just talking to yourself, you're talking to other people. Oftentimes, a common mistake I see people make when they're trying to market their offer is that they think that I have nothing to say. They think that, in Hindi, ऐसा क्या ही नया बोल दूंगी मैं, या नया बोल दूंगा मैं, right? And you have to understand that what is obvious to you is not obvious to other people. So everything that you think is obvious that other people may just know, no, they don't know, right? They don't know it. You have to educate them, you have to make them aware, you have to take the time to explain to them why your offer is going to, help them and how it is going to help them. And this is where becoming specific in your content creation comes into the picture, right? This is where becoming specific in your marketing comes into the picture. So, if you would like to study all of it, you're really welcome to join us in our upcoming training. And if you're somebody who's ready to implement it right away, you're welcome to join us inside LCTM. If you have any question about this particular topic, feel free to DM me, and I will see you in another live next time. Bye bye.